Buckle up, make yourself cozy. If my ex ever ends up seeing this, I think it's funny at this point. Like, I'm wishing you nothing but the best. So, one time in college when I worked at Hooters, I ended up dating my manager's roommate. And when I met him, he didn't have a job, like, no shame in that. He had a breathalyzer in his car. I would often have to, like, Uber him around town because he didn't want to pay to get his breathalyzer recalibrated. There were points where I would stay at his house, like, in the midst of winter, freezing, and he had no electricity because the bills weren't paid. Again, like, I get it, like, people go through shit. And I was, like, never judgmental of that at all. And that's what I've learned to be a mistake in me, is I take red flags as just everyday flaws. That's a thing for a different video. So one time we were hanging out, we got drunk, we got into a little tiff, more than a tiff, the police got called. So that was on file. And that same night, the police basically said, like, never speak to this man again. And I was like, aye, aye. So I ended up walking over to my ex's house at 5 in the morning with, like, no shoes on, still very drunk. And then my ex ended up doing some really fucked up shit to me that night as well. And my roommate, upon seeing me stumble in the house still drunk at, like, 8 a.m. with my clothes in a trash bag that the police gave me, and hearing the whole story unravel, was very concerned about me, as a good friend is. And she contacted my family saying, she's not doing too hot, you might want to come get her. So my family, like, snatched me out of college for the weekend, gave me a little grounding, like, intervention, and sent me back. Long story short, it didn't work. I got back with that guy, and he ended up cheating on me and punching a hole in my wall, and then, like, denying ever cheating on me. I can make a whole video about that too. And then the day I graduated college, he didn't even call me. He decided to go get blacked out with his friends and then let his phone die and just make me wake up with anxiety wondering if he was back in the county jail. So I was up during my graduation day just, like, searching the county jail records because he wasn't responding to me, and then I broke up with him. So cheers. As somebody who has been traumatized by relationships in my past, I have this little saying that really helps me determine whether or not a relationship is going to be worth my time, energy, or effort. And it goes as follows. If I would never do to you the things that you're doing to me, then I don't deserve what's being done to me. And that's not to say that you should never give second chances and people aren't going to make mistakes, whatever, but it's really kind of astounding how much I've tolerated in the past from other people that I would never in a million years tolerate myself to do to other people. And once you kind of step back and realize that whatever you're putting out, you deserve to get back, your whole mindset changes. And let me tell you, it gets lonely, okay? It gets real fucking lonely, but it's so much better. It's so much more peaceful. Here's the thing. Until I find a man to make me avocado toast with a heart-shaped egg on top for no reason, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm good.
You know, guys, videos like this are absolutely fantastic, and the reason why I say they're fantastic is because they show men what is really going on. You see, girls like this, they will get on the internet, guys, and they will complain about their ex-boyfriends, about their past relationships, and how they've had it so difficult. But the thing you've got to understand, gentlemen, is that these women choose this. Okay, this woman was told by police officers not to talk to her ex-boyfriend anymore, not to involve herself with him, and here she goes returning to the same man over and over and over again. And guys, this is one of the things that's sold to men, where women will say, oh, her past is so difficult, right? It really sucked, but they always manage to somehow return to the men who treat them like trash. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we are going to be kicking it off by breaking down some clips from this woman right here, guys. Before we jump into it, as always, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the description, guys. It is totally free to join. If you're interested in becoming a supporter, the link is in the description as well. But otherwise, guys, a lot of our archived content, YouTube content, all that will be moved over there slowly, guys. So just make sure that you come and join for free. Now, let's take a listen to what this woman has to say piece by piece and respond to her. Guys, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's jump into it.
As somebody who has been traumatized by relationships in my past, I have this little saying that really helps me determine whether or not a relationship is going to be worth my time, energy, or effort.
And how's that working out for you? Okay, you have this little saying that's going to help you with your relationships, but I always question the efficacy of these girls' ability to choose relationships anyway. I don't care what phrases you have. I don't care. Your track record is terrible. So I don't understand why you would sit here giving relationship advice. And if you're like, oh, my track record is terrible, so that means that I have the ability to think going forward. No, it doesn't. The ability was always there, but you choose the liars, the cheaters, and the scammers. So it is what it is.
And it goes as follows. If I would never do to you the things that you're doing to me, then I don't deserve what's being done to me. And that's not to say that you should never give second chances and people aren't going to make mistakes, whatever, but it's really kind of astounding how much I've tolerated in the past from other people that I would never in a million years tolerate myself to do to other people.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Not only do you tolerate it, I'm going to make the argument that you seek it. Guys, a lot of these women, they will never choose the dudes who are, quote unquote, good for them. They'll never choose the guys who do things for them, who care about them, because these things actually repulse these types of women. Okay, you want to go out there, you want to profess your feelings, you want to help her with all of the issues that she has in her life. She's going to view you as a friend. Okay, not a boyfriend, not some guy who she desperately wants to get with. No. She's going to treat you as a friend, right? There's an article that I'm going to be pulling up later today, guys, and it's just, just absolute hilarity. I can't wait for you guys to see it, but let's continue.
And once you kind of step back and realize that whatever you're putting out, you deserve to get back, your whole mindset changes. And let me tell you, it gets lonely, okay? It gets real fucking lonely, but it's so much better. It's so much more peaceful. As somebody...
Yeah, and the thing is, you actually don't deserve it back, right? This woman makes the argument that because she, quote unquote, treats people well and she puts in a lot of effort, then she deserves to get that thing back. You are investing this effort into the wrong men. Okay, you don't deserve crap for that, because your ability to select your partners, your relationships, is absolutely terrible. And I don't say that to crap on this woman. I don't say that to be mean, guys. But a lot of these women, they're like, I deserve. You can't even allocate your energy properly. You can't even facilitate a healthy relationship. And here we are sitting here talking about how, oh, I deserve this. What on earth is that? But guys, let's continue to the next clip because this one was far more juicy. So let's take a listen.
Buckle up, make yourself cozy. If my ex ever ends up seeing this, I think it's funny at this point. Like, I'm wishing you nothing but the best. So one time in college when I worked at Hooters, I ended up dating my manager's roommate. And
how many red flags can you cram into the beginning of this video? So first of all, first red flag, she immediately addresses her ex-boyfriend, which, let's be honest, guys, this is clearly why the video is made. Videos like this are not made for the audience. They're not made for her audience to go, like, to listen to her. Yeah, she'll take the validation. But the key is at the beginning, guys. She made the video to address her ex-boyfriend. Strike number 1. Strike number 2, working at Hooters. Strike number 3, dating your manager's roommate. 3 strikes in, what is that, 10, 11 seconds? Wow.
And when I met him, he didn't have a job, like no shame in that. He had a breathalyzer in his car. I would often have to like Uber him around town because he didn't want to pay to get his breathalyzer recalibrated. There were points where I would stay at his house like in the midst of winter, freezing, and he had no electricity because the bills weren't paid. Again, like...
Guys, I'll say this, okay? Girls don't necessarily... It's really funny because girls will hook up with a dude. They'll go and have fun with the dude, and he doesn't necessarily have to have the money. Right? Primarily, it comes down to, is the guy good looking or not? Okay, we live in an era in dating right now, guys, where it's all about, what's the interesting, shiny new thing? Girls going on dating apps and, swiping on cute guys and whatever, because a lot of these girls, they go, oh, I can get the stability later, right? Have you guys ever heard these women say like, oh, you're fantastic husband material or you're boyfriend material, but just not now. I'm not at that place in my life. Okay, what they'll do, guys, is they'll go out there and they'll chase the bad boys for their genetics, right? And then later on, they'll turn around when they're 30 plus years of age and they'll go, oh crap, this is when I need a real man. I need a dude to step up. Why aren't you taking me seriously? And oftentimes by this point, they're like single mothers or in thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt, and they expect men to step up for them.
Like, I get it, like, people go through shit. And I was, like, never judgmental of that at all. And that's what I've learned to be a mistake in me, is I take red flags as just everyday flaws. That's a thing for a different video. So one...
And notice the transition. that's starting to happen there. See the seeds that are planted, right? Where she's like, oh, I realize this is a mistake now. I probably shouldn't be dating dudes who are broke. I'm going to value myself more. And this is the rationalization they use to sit there and go, okay, I need to start dating with men with resources. And this is how I'm going to justify it to myself, right? I need a real man who's going to step up, aka I need a guy who's going to come and bring me stability now that I've learned all of the ways of my past was so terrible. But they really haven't learned anything. A lot of these girls, when they say that like they've done their healing or they've done their learning, what's the phrase, guys? Like they've turned their necessity into a virtue. And, you know, I don't buy it. I really don't.
One time we were hanging out, we got drunk, we got into a little tiff, more than a tiff, the police got called. So that was on file. And that same night, the police basically said, like, never speak to this man again. And I was like, aye, aye. So.
And do you think she's going to listen? Right, you guys probably already saw the clip at the beginning of the video. I think my editor played it at the start. But, you know, she's not going to... I could have told you this without even watching the rest of the video, that she was going to talk to the guy again. She says, like, aye. And this is why, guys, you never be that shoulder to cry on. You never sit there and go, oh, you know, tell me how poorly he treated you. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to you. And, you know, maybe you can get with me next, right? This is the strategy that a lot of guys will do. They'll sit there, they'll be that shoulder to cry on as a woman jumps from bad boy to bad boy. And then when she rocks around to 30, she'll go like, oh, you know, maybe we should hang out for coffee. But they'll always keep the door. They never wanted that guy that's going to be there and support them. They always chase the dudes who have no interest at all in supporting them. So why on earth would you waste your time? And guys, this woman, right, literally the pair of them, her and her boyfriend at the time, or I'm skeptical as to whether he was even a boyfriend, to be honest, got the police called on them. And again, we're supposed to sympathize or think that she's the victim. Like, what?
So I ended up walking over to my ex's house at 5 in the morning with like no shoes on, still very drunk. And then my ex ended up doing some really fucked up shit to me that night as well. And my room.
Yeah, things happen to me, right? Nothing... Guys, like, I have seen too many times where you can no longer take these people at their face value of what they say. You know, I wish that I could sit here and go, oh yeah, I'm sure that he treated you terribly. But too often have we seen it, guys, where these women, they twist the narrative to paint the man in a bad light and come to find out the man's done nothing and she's just a complete psycho. Right? This woman rocked up to her ex-boyfriend's house, intoxicated at early hours of the morning, right? Who's to say she didn't start some crap? Right? But of course, it's on TikTok and we're supposed to believe women just by default rather than knowing what's gone on, you know?
Roommate, upon seeing me stumble in the house still drunk at like 8 a.m. with my clothes in a trash bag that the police gave me and hearing the whole story unravel, was very concerned about me, as a good friend is, and she contacted my family saying, she's not doing too hot, you might want to come get her. So my family like snatched me out of college for the weekend, gave me a little grounding like intervention, and sent me back. Long story short, it didn't work. I got back.
Yeah, of course not. Of course it didn't work. Guys, I am not a huge fan of trying to convince people to do stuff. A lot of these girls, they are on a path, right? And you just let them go, guys. There's a phrase, you know, you can't turn a 304 into a housewife, guys. I don't know why so many men are out here trying to convince women to be like good girlfriends or crap like that. You know, what's the phrase, guys? Recreational use only, okay? We have a whole host of men out here trying to turn, for example, you know, girls like this into girlfriends, into wives, which, hey, you know, if you want to go out there and do that, good luck to you, is what I would say, okay? But these people, they tell you who they are. They tell you their kind of behavior ahead of time, a lot of the time. So why on earth would you go out here and go, yeah, this is a fantastic idea. I'm going to, you know, get myself involved in dating in this particular scenario? Hell no.
Back with that guy, and he ended up cheating on me and punching a hole in my wall and then like denying ever cheating on me. I can make a whole video about that too. And then the day I graduated college, he didn't even call me. He decided to go get blacked out with his friends and then
I'm going to play that again. So this woman got back with this guy after like all this police stuff went down, or we don't really know the details of that, but after all this went down, her family had an intervention with her. The police told her not to talk to the man, and yet we are back with the guy and she gets cheated on. Now, tell me the part, guys, where I am supposed to empathize with the situation.
And he ended up cheating on me and punching a hole in my wall and then like denying ever cheating on me. I can make a whole video about that too. And then the day I graduated college, he didn't even call me. He decided to go get blacked out with his friends and then let his phone die and just make me wake up with anxiety wondering if he was back in the county jail. So I was up during my graduation day just like searching the county jail records because he wasn't responding to me, and then I broke up with him. So cheers. Buckle.
I love how these girls as well, so that's the end of the clip right there before we continue into the next one. I love how these women will always try and paint it into like a moral virtue, like, oh, I had anxiety and I stayed up all night because I was concerned about him rocking up in the county jail. No, no, no. You don't care about, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. They think that people like this actually care about their partners. That's not what's happening. She just wants his damn validation, right? So she can finally take it and move on. It has nothing to do with caring about the guy or having a genuine connection or any of this kind of crap, guys. A lot of these girls, they don't care about the man. They care about, one, how attractive he is in the beginning, and two, whether or not they get his validation. If they get, you can see incredibly attractive guys, gentlemen, and they'll give away validation to women and it'll repulse them. Yeah, they'll hook up a couple times or they'll hang out or whatever, right? But once the girl has the validation, she'll take it and she'll run. Up until the point that she has the validation, guys, oh, she'll be like the quote-unquote most caring individual, always looking out for his health because she wants some reciprocity. She wants him to sit there and go, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate your efforts, and then she can feel validated and now she can walk away from the situation because she's got a little hit of dopamine. It has nothing to do with care. It has nothing to do with empathy. Like, no, I don't buy it. But let's continue on to the next clip, and this is a bit of a shorter one from memory.
Here's the thing. Until I find a man to make me avocado toast with a heart-shaped egg on top, for no reason, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm good. Here's the thing. Until I find...
Yeah, and how do you correlate this clip, right, with the last one? So this woman is not interested in men. This is the same woman, by the way. She's not interested in men unless men sit down and make her food, okay? But in that last clip that I showed you, this woman is interested in men who can't pay their electricity bills, who, allegedly treat her like crap, and who cheat on her, and we're supposed to believe this following clip, right? Like, where is the objective truth, guys? You see what I'm saying? To me, guys, the objective truth is not found in what they say. It is found in what they do. But guys, we are going to continue on to the next portion of today's show. So let me just find what that is. And, we've got a couple more clips that I'm going to show you. But, I was going to read a Reddit story to you guys first. But unfortunately, guys, check this out, right? So I was heading on over to our favorite part of the internet, preparing the next part of today's show. And lo and behold, guys, our favorite place of toxicity on the internet has been closed to us. So apologies, gentlemen, we can't seem to find, something as toxic today because Female Dating Strategy has closed their doors to us temporarily. And I swear this must be because of me. Like, I don't know if other content creators are covering this, but like, as far as I know, I'm the only dude who like consistently covers the clown stuff that's found over here. So maybe they're just like on temporary lockdown because they've had like an influx of dudes heading over there, replying or trolling on all their stuff. So that's going to be closed to us for a little while. So we're going to be continuing with some more video clips. Now, these are not the same as the woman in the first video, and I haven't seen these ones yet, so we'll be watching these ones together. So let's take a listen and see if I can pull up the right screen.
You know how on TikTok they talk about pretty girls and they all say like, oh, pretty girls are misunderstood and demonized because you're just jealous and you're just insecure? Well, I have a story about a very pretty girl that traumatized me. Basically, we were friends, and then there's this guy that I thought was really cute that I matched with on Hinge. We ended up making plans to like meet at a rave, and my friend, we'll call her Annie, was going with me. And so, prior to us meeting, I was like, oh, I have a lot of cute friends, so you should totally go. And I said this to the guy, we'll call him Jerry, and he was like, okay, whatever, see you there. And once I told my friend Annie about it, she was like, not to toot my own horn, but I think, I'm a part of the reason why he came down. And at the time I was like, yeah, I guess, probably. Anyways, we go to this rave and we meet up with him, and immediately you can kind of tell like he's not really interested in me for whatever reason. He'll like dance with me for like 30 seconds, then go hang out with his friends, and then come back and dance with me for like another 5 seconds.
I mean, you could have told this woman right off the bat that the dude wasn't interested in her in the first place. Like, the dude responded to her message on Hinge unenthusiastically. And this is something that I'll never understand, man. I thought about, I might do some like rant videos or whatever on things that are kind of a bit unrelated, but I thought about making a video on this the other day about how it just amazes me, right? How people will put in so much effort, whether they're men or whether they're women, they will put so much effort into people who clearly don't give a crap about them, or who display no interest from the beginning. So let me say this, guys, right? If you're a dude and you're using dating apps, okay, and you're there sitting there chasing girls, messaging them, you're going to have like a 90% flake rate. Like these girls, because you're choosing the girls, you're choosing the people who you have to continually chase and put in like all this crap, and these people are not interested in you. This dude was not interested in this woman at all from the beginning. And also, as per my previous statement, guys, like, for a lot of dudes, dating apps are just absolutely terrible to begin with. But you see my point, right? People are just out here putting effort into individuals who don't have any interest in them. And then they're surprised when the person, doesn't show up on the date or doesn't hang out with them at a rave like this woman is.
And then at one point he kissed me, and it was like really weird. Basically, in the end, like you could just tell like he wasn't super interested, and I was like, okay, whatever, like that sucks, but it is what it is. So when we were walking back, like from the club and from the rave, Annie like held my arm and she was walking with me and she was comforting me, saying like, oh, guys like that, like guys that don't know what they want, like they're not worth it, like don't even think about it, like it's not worth it.
Yeah, and then of course we can only assume that her best friend goes off and gets with this guy. I've made this point many times on the channel, but girls are incredibly cutthroat behind each other's backs. Like it's not even close, guys. Like the average relationship between a man and a woman and a woman is like there is so much more backstabbing that goes on between women. If you don't think that women try and poach each other's boyfriends and husbands and crap like that, you are out of your mind. Dudes who are married, right? Maybe no girls are interested in them. Dudes who are married come to find out that being a married man carries with it some status. And this is where so much of the complaining comes from, because women will sit there and they will cry and they'll say, oh, this guy, he chose this woman over me. But the whole thing is that they're selecting dudes who other women want anyway, right? They're literally selecting environments where they have the maximum amount of competition anxiety, and then they're complaining because they can't lock down the man. And you think other girls care about you? No, they're going to go out there, they're going to try and steal your boyfriends, they're going to try and steal your husbands, and then you get all these girls complaining about infidelity, right? It's like your friends aren't your friends. I always find it so funny when I hear girls say like, oh, I love you, babe, like all this kind of crap, and I'm like, man, we're just throwing around that L word these days, aren't we?
Basically, after this night, like Jerry ghosted me, and I was really upset, and I was talking to my friends about it, including Annie. I was definitely confiding in her a lot, and just like telling her about like my emotions and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and this is the funniest part, okay, guys? What this woman doesn't understand is that while she's sitting there complaining to Annie about this dude ghosting her, in Annie's mind, you're just making the man more valuable. Right? Every time a girl complains that a dude ghosted her and other women hear it, they immediately have more interest in the man that ghosted them. Do you see what I'm saying? So this woman, she thinks that she's like confiding in her friend and she's getting her emotions out. But what she's really doing is she's like shoving Annie, and she's giving Annie the idea to go off and get with this dude. Like, that's the funniest part about it.
So she knew how I felt about it. One day, Annie reaches out to me. She's like, hey, can we get dinner? And I'm like, yeah. And so I didn't really think anything of it. But then at the end of dinner, she pulls me aside and she says, hey, like, I have something to tell you that has been weighing on me very heavily. She tells me that her and Jerry matched on Hinge and they've been talking for the past few weeks, and that he might come down to where we live, and if he does, something might happen between him.
Yeah, it's already happened. right? Girls only say this crap, by the way. They're like testing the waters after either the groundwork has already been laid or the action has already been there, right? This woman, notice how this girl's friend didn't message her at the start and go like, oh, are you cool if I talk to this guy? No, no, no. She spends weeks talking to the guy, and we're just going off of her word here. And then she finally tells this woman. This is what I'm talking about, man. Where like men's wives and girlfriends will come to them and they'll say like, oh, you know, this happened or that happened, or like, I'm thinking I want us to break up. Little does the man realize that this stuff all happened ages ago. If your girlfriend or your wife is breaking up with you, that breakup happened months ago, right? But she's just now chose this moment to tell you about it.
And she said she really, really liked him. And at the time, like, I was kind of shocked, so I didn't really know how to react. And I just said, like, no, like, it's cool. Like, I'm kind of sad because you knew that I was super upset over this dude, but you talked to him behind my back anyway.
Wait a minute. But this woman told us that she didn't care about it and she brushed it off earlier. Right, so already she's contradicting herself. I thought that she didn't care, it was just whatever, but now we hear that she was very upset about it. So which is it exactly?
She says yes, and you know, before she'd been sending me like really long paragraphs telling me to love myself, and she admitted that she was telling me that stuff so I would get over him quicker. Like for a part 2. I think what bothered me in the end actually was just her sending me very long paragraphs trying to manipulate me into getting over him quicker. I'm the type of person that when somebody does me wrong, I like internalize it and I think, okay, what did I do for this person to treat me so badly? Basically, in that moment, I didn't like get angry because I wanted to preserve our friendship at the time. So I honestly like pushed my anger about the manipulation down.
Yeah, and this is what girls do a lot of times, guys. Is like, you know, you'll see like a couple of girls and they're like best friends, they're like BFFs, and they care about each other so much. But what you come to realize a lot of the times is that they absolutely hate each other. You know, guys, I can think of right now 3 pairs, like, and this is just right off the top of my head, 3 pairs of women that I know that are like best friends with each other. They're like besties. They always go out together, but they hate each other's guts. I don't know if you guys have seen that as well, where women will say that they're best friends and that they care about each other and like, you know, it's all about the sisterhood and crap like that, right? But then they complain to each other behind each other's backs, right? There's probably like, you know, if the 6 women who watch this channel are watching right now, they probably know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this, right? Where girls will sit there, they'll say that they love and care about someone, but at the same time, they're sitting there talking crap about their best friend. It's literally, guys, the craziest crap. Like, I didn't know this stuff happened, right? Like like ages ago, I didn't know this. But as I've gotten older, guys, you just, like, these people don't really, like, a lot of them don't care about their friends. They don't really care about their family. And, you know, when their backs are turned, they treat them as crap. And they stay in these relationships, right? This woman just made this point right here, that she continued the friendship with this woman, at least to begin with. Now, let's see if she cut it off.
I thought that I could get over it, but after a couple weeks and like after still seeing her, the manipulation didn't really sit right with me. So I eventually ended up just texting her and saying that, you know, because I'm still hurt, like, I can't be an authentic friend to you. I think also, like, I'm trying to see things from her perspective, and she probably didn't really think that my feelings about the situation were valid, which, you know, is fair. But I think as a friend, and if I were in her shoes, even if, you know, my friend's feelings didn't quite make sense to me, I would still like honor them and validate them, because I feel like all feelings are valid.
Yeah, guys, all feelings are valid, apparently. Now, right at the end here, she says, like, oh, you know, I expect you to take my feelings seriously or whatever. I mean, what feelings is that exactly? Because at the start of this video, you said that you didn't care about the dude really and you just brushed it off as whatever. And yet somehow we end the video with you saying how, like, you deeply, you know, you care about the guy and it really kind of stung you to the point where you want to end the friendship altogether. So maybe she was confused about you being dishonest, but, you know, we're just going to leave it there. Guys, let's continue on to the next part of today's episode. And I think I have, excuse me, a couple of things that I wanted to show you guys. So Yeah, so we have a dating profile here that I'm going to show you guys, and then possibly a quick article if we have time, but we might not because I've got to be heading out real soon. So let's take a look at this dating profile as we kind of wrap up today's episode. Now, this is one that I wanted to show you guys because if you thought that dating was just bad among, the younger generation, or it just sucked about, among the younger people, hell no. Okay, we have here a woman who speaks a different language, and she is 55 years of age. Now, you might recognize this as a Tinder dating profile because that's exactly what it is. And I'm going to read her bio to you in case, you guys aren't looking at the screen right now. Let's take a listen to what she says about herself, okay? She is looking for a learned man, minimum height, simplicity over time. Now, this is a little bit of broken English here, but obviously, guys, she's looking for a dude who's over 5'9", call it 6 foot. So we have here a 55-year-old woman who is refusing to date a man above the age of 6 foot, and yet she's 55 years of age and single, okay? That aside, she then goes on to say that she's looking for a relationship, in terms of friends first, and then it progressing is what I think that she's saying over here. Guys, anytime someone says stuff like this, like, oh, I'm just looking to be friends first, or never listen to women when they say this, guys, because what they're really saying when they say, oh, I just want a guy to be friends first, you think that these girls haven't just gotten with dudes right off the bat, right? There is a difference between being a friend to a woman, right, and her being attracted to you. You can't have, like, these things you can't really have both of these things at the same time. Like, you'll hear dudes make the argument that you can, guys, but too many dudes try and go out there and be friends with girls. Oh, let's just be friendly. Let's talk to her about her day and listen to her problems and stuff like that. And then dudes will be really confused when they end up in the friend zone, or girls won't talk to them anymore and crap like that. Never listen to girls when they say, oh, yeah, you've got to be my friend first. Really? Did the previous 5 guys that you've hooked up with, did they have to be your friend first? That's what I thought. Well, let's continue with her bio here. I am not looking for bedroom fun. I would like to find a true love relationship. I am a highly sensitive person. I have 2 independent sons aged 25 and 30. I turned 55. So here we have, guys, a elderly single mother. She doesn't want to date men below 6 foot, and she's looking for a real, authentic relationship, and it sounds like she wants a friend first that is going to develop into something more. Absolute comedy gold, gentlemen. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know what you guys think. But guys, we're going to be pulling up one more dating profile today, and I think we will be calling it there. So we have here, this is the second one that I wanted to show you, gentlemen. We have here a woman who is 18 years of age, and as you can see, I don't know what, I think, yeah, this is Tinder, right? So she's sitting in her room, she's taking a photo of herself. Now let's go down and take a read of her bio and see what she says about herself, or what she chooses to share with the world. Let me just shove this over a little bit. So she is a teacher, and this is what the bio says. I am 4'11", and she goes on to say, what do we call a guy under 6 feet? A friend. And obviously she's listed her star sign as if anybody gives a crap, that she likes dogs and she doesn't smoke. Okay, so we have here a 4'11", 18-year-old woman who refuses to get with dudes who don't meet the bare minimum requirement of being above 6 foot. To that woman, I would say good luck to her, because I am sure, the cats and the boxed wine are in this lady's future. But guys, we are going to be calling today's episode there. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments, guys. If you disagree with anything I've said, feel free to do so, guys. That is what the comments box is for. One final shout out to locals, guys. Make sure that you come and join us over there. There is exclusive content for supporters, and there are archived videos to anyone who feels like they would like to come and join, guys. As always, we're not really sure what the hell we're allowed to say over here on YouTube, guys. So a lot of content creators are kind of setting up platforms, on different places and stuff like that, so that we don't lose touch with you guys. So make sure that you come and join. Locals link is in the description and probably the pinned comment as well. But guys, we're going to be calling it there. As always, make sure to take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together these videos for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description below, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, at the very bottom of the video descriptions, there is a link for those of you who are interested in becoming an editor. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave these applications open for, but if you're interested in working with me behind the scenes, there will be a link at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, guys, as always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. You guys might have noticed that a lot of YouTube content creators are kind of branching off to different platforms, and that's because we really don't know what we're allowed to say or do, and a lot of us don't really know how long we will be around for. So guys, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. It's totally free to join. There's a support option if you're interested. There's also exclusive content and stuff like that over there, but it's totally free if you're just wanting to go and join, guys. The link is in the description, so make sure that you come and join us. But as always, guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.